the LGBT community is just, what's happened to them is just so sad. And to be thinking about where their policies are currently with this administration is a disgrace to that community, I will tell you right now. Clinton wants to allow radical Islamic terrorists to pour into our country. They enslave women and they murder gays. I don't want them in our country. Ask yourself, who is really the friend of women and the LGBT community? Donald Trump with actions or Hillary Clinton with her words?
That was Donald Trump just moments ago in support of the LGBT community, criticizing Hillary Clinton. With me now, the executive director of Log Cabin Republicans, so it's a group that represents gay conservatives. Gregory Angelo is my guest. Gregory, we are thrilled to have you here on what we would hope would be a happier day. But I want to ask you, is Trump better than Hillary Clinton for the LGBT community?
You know, Deidre, first of all, before we get going, I do want to make sure to convey the sorrow and the sadness and the sympathies that Log Cabin Republicans members all across the country are feeling for our LGBT brothers and sisters and their family members who are in mourning right now, along with us. So, just allow me to take that moment.
Of course.
When it comes to Mr. Trump, I am on record going back to August of last year saying that if he were to win the nomination for president, he would be the most pro-gay Republican presidential nominee in history. And today's speech that he gave continues to bear that out. I think what happened in Orlando really opened the eyes up to a lot of people in the LGBT community that national security issues are LGBT issues. It's not only about marriage equality or non-discrimination protections. Those things are important. But national security, our very lives and livelihood, is something that is literally under attack right now, Deidre, in this country by radical Islamic terrorism. And in calling out radical Islamic terrorism and also explicitly mentioning the LGBT community and the threat radical Islamic terrorism poses to the LGBT community, Donald Trump committed a historic first. I mean, we've never had a Republican presidential nominee in history that has explicitly referenced the LGBT community. It's very encouraging to me.
Well, to your point, some branches of Islam, as you say, target gays, target women, target any single person who...
Religious minorities?
Exactly. It's a long list. As far as your peers, when you reached out and you spoke with people in your group today, obviously reaching out for support, but does everyone share your view?
Like many Americans and like many even in the Republican Party, Log Cabin Republicans members are not monolithic, and our members have very different and disparate opinions of Donald Trump. What I've long said is that if you put everything else aside with Donald Trump, he is the most pro-LGBT nominee that this party's ever had. But sometimes putting everything else aside with Mr. Trump is a Herculean, if not impossible task. And so we don't look at candidates, Mr. Trump or anyone else for that matter, exclusively through a single issue. But there are most definitely Trump supporters who are members of Log Cabin Republicans. We have Trump delegates going to the Republican National Convention who are members of Log Cabin Republicans as well.
All right. Well, I know you'll continue the conversation there because you bring up some great points in the meantime. We're really glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me on, Deidre. Hopefully next time it's under better circumstances.
We would all love that. Gregory Angelo with me there, Executive Director, Log Cabin Republicans.